An epic fight happens between a wizard named Gandalf against a powerful demonic monster, Balrog, on the bridge of Khazad-dûm. Gandalf broke the bridge, causing Balrog to fall into the abyss. Balrog cast his whip, grabbing Gandalf in his leg. The wizard immediately told the Fellowship to hurry to leave. The battle continues while they free fall. Gandalf swings his sword against the mighty monster. The instant they hit the water below, Frodo wakes up from his dream. Sam checks Frodo he's fine, and they continue their journey. As they walk in the rocky region of Emyn Muil, Frodo said that the One Ring feels heavier. Sam thinks they are not sure where they are and feels lost. Then Gollum, still possessed by the One Ring's power, attacked them coming from nowhere. He's desperate to get the One Ring from Frodo, which he called my precious. Gollum thinks it was stolen from him, and he wants it back. The hobbits stop Gollum from attacking. Sam tied the Gollum from his neck using the rope given to him by the elven elder Galadriel in Lérien. Gollum moans and makes a lot of noise because the rope is burning his skin. Sam distrusts Gollum and suggests tying him up and leaving him, because they might be spotted by the orcs as the Gollum makes a lot of noise. But Frodo shows pity for the creature. He knows what the Gollum's burden is. He asks the Gollum to lead them to the Black Gate of Mordor. As they are lost, he said he trusts him and removed the rope from his neck. As they travel, Gollum talks to himself, showing two different kinds of personality. One shows that he wants to guide Frodo because he promises, and the other one just wants the One Ring back. Gollum even attempts to run off, but immediately came back. In the grassy landscape of Rohan, the Uruk-hai runs carrying the two hobbits Merry and Pippin, while Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are in pursuit to catch them. The Uruk-hai senses that they are being followed and immediately runs to bring the hobbits to Saruman. Pippin drops his pin so they can be trailed. For 3 days, the three heroes run trying to catch up with the orcs. Legolas spotted the orcs in the distance and said that the orcs is bringing the hobbits to Isengard. In Isengard, the White Wizard Saruman prepared his army of Uruk-hais, offering them to join Sauron. He also commanded his orc to cut off the trees in the Fangorn forest to fuel their fire in making the armor and weapons. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Rohan, home of the Horse Lords, King Theoden looks pale and very weak. He's under the control of his deceptive steward, Grima Wormtongue, which is one of Saruman's servants. Orcs and the Dunlendings attacked and burned villages in Rohan by the order of Saruman, killing everyone on their path. The attack also caused severe wounds to Theodred, the only son of King Theoden. Eomer, Theoden's nephew, recovers Theodred and brought him back to the town of Rohan. But soon Theodred also died because of the injuries. Eomer tried to report the ambush and attacks of Saruman's army to Theoden, but the king is manipulated by Grima. Eomer, very angry, confronted Grima, knowing that he is with Saruman. Eomer also noticed that Grima has lustful eyes with her sister Eowyn. Eomer was banished for questioning his authority. Eomer leaves and gathers the remaining loyal men of Rohan's strong cavalry, the Rohirrim, throughout the land. After 3 days of running, the orcs decided to rest near the forest of Fangorn. They cut off trees to create fire to heat them up. Pippin noticed that the trees make strange noises, tells a story to Merry about the walking trees. Because of hunger, one of the orcs from Moria tried to attack the hobbit for food, but was stopped by the orc commander Ugluk. This started an argument between the Uruk-hai and the orcs from Moria. Ugluk said that they need to bring the hobbits to Saruman unharmed. Another orc from Moria sneaks at the back of the hobbits. Ugluk swings his sword and cuts the orc's head off. The Uruk-hai slaughtered the orc that was killed for food. Eomer and his men suddenly arrive, attack and kill all the orcs and the Uruk-hai. In the morning, Aragorn spotted the cavalry led by Eomer. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli confronted the cavalry, and they tell Éomer that they are hunting the orcs to rescue the hobbits. Éomer told them that they had not noticed hobbits, and they did not leave anyone alive. He also educates them that King Theoden's mind is corrupted by Saruman and claims lordship of Rohan. The three warriors immediately rush to the battle site. At first are very upset, thinking that the hobbits were also killed. Aragorn used his ranger tracking skills and tracked the hobbits, realizing that they escaped to the Fangorn forest. Merry and Pippin flee into the forest, but one of the orc from Moria who tried to eat them is chasing them. The orc catches them and is about to cut Merry. Treebeard awakens and helps them by stepping on the orc and killing it. Treebeard is the oldest tree-like creature called the Ents. Treebeard took Merry and Pippin to what he called the White Wizard, as the creature suspects the hobbits as little orcs. Frodo and Sam travel across to the Dead Marshes. As they pass, they saw the fallen warriors from the Second Age who haunt the marshes. Frodo falls to the waters of the marsh, hypnotized by its magic. He's pulled out before he drowns by Gollum. Frodo, Sam, and Gollum hide because a ring wraith on his flying fell beast is approaching, as it is looking for something. Meanwhile, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli are inside the forest of Fangorn, looking for the two hobbits. All three of them heard a strange noise inside the forest and sensed that the tree is speaking to each other. Till a white glow flashes to them. They met the White Wizard, which is the reborn of Gandalf. He is now known as Gandalf the White. He shares his story about the fight with Balrog, telling them how he defeated the demon. He also says that he is resurrected because his task is still not yet done. Gandalf told the three fighters that they need to travel to Adoras with all speed. Gandalf summons Shadowfax, the Lord of the Mirrors, an ancient and noble race of Harses, and the quartet proceeds to Adoras. Finally, Frodo, Sam, and Gollum arrived at the Black Gate of Mordor. However, they find out that the gate is heavily guarded. They also saw a large group of Easterlings from Rin entered the Black Gate. Sam, unfortunately, slides down to the hill and Frodo starts following him to help. Two of the Easterlings check out the smoke coming from the hill, but was not able to find any as the two hobbits hide using the cloak given to them by Galadriel. Frodo attempted to enter, but was stopped by Gollum. The creature said that he knows a different way in. Sam is still suspicious of the Gollum, but Frodo still shows trust in the creature, and he told his name as Smeagol. Back in the forest of Fangorn, Merry wakes up and approached Pippin, noticing that Pippin grows taller. He suspects that it has to do with the liquid Pippin is drinking. Immediately grabbed the jug and drank it. They battled to get the jug, without knowing that a tree grabbed them and buried them under its roots. Treebeard arrived and commanded the tree to let them go. He said that the tree is wakened up and they are dangerous. Gandalf and the group approached Meduseld in Adoras. Eowyn in sorrow was at the bedside of Theoden weeping, as the king's son already died. Gandalf with the group enters the town of Meduseld. They noticed that the people of the town looks in hopelessness. Their weapons are confiscated before they enter the house of King Theoden, but they let Gandalf keep his stuff. Gandalf exorcises Saruman's spirit out of the king's body, and then banished Wormtongue out of the town. Theoden, in deep sorrow, buried his son. The king learned about the attack from Saruman's army. To avoid open war, he ordered everyone to seek refuge in the large fortress called Helm's Deep, which in times of trouble saved the people of Rohan. Gandalf flees to seek and find Éomer and his Rohirrim. He promised to return on the 5th day. Brego, the horse of Theodred, is showing restless. Aragorn calms the horse down and orders to set it free, as he feels that the horse is stressed in the battles it witnessed. Wormtongue flees to Orthanc and reports to Saruman that they no longer have control of Rohan. Saruman decides to attack and ordered the Warg Riders to attack Rohan. In Ithilien, while Frodo and Sam are resting, Smeagol battles his other personality Gollum, which ended up banishing his evil half, Gollum. The next morning, Smeagol brought a dead rabbit for their food. Next, the two hobbits witness the marching of the Southrons. Worried as this is a sign of incoming war, they are also amazed to see the Olipounce. And then suddenly, the Southrons are ambushed by the soldiers of Gondor. The hobbits are also captured as hostages by the soldiers of Gondor led by Faramir, second son of the steward of Gondor Denetha. Soon the hobbits will also know that he is Boromir's younger brother. While on the journey to Helm's Deep, Eowyn shows that she is attracted to Aragorn. Theoden noticed that she is happy and smiling. That has not happened for a long time. Soon the travelers were attacked by Saruman's Warg and their Orc riders. Theoden ordered Eowyn to safely lead the people to Helm's Deep. The Warg and their Orc riders were defeated. Unfortunately, one of the Warg dragged Aragorn to fall down the cliff into the river. As the survivors urgently moved to the fortress, Eowyn saddened knowing the fate of Aragorn. In Isengard, Saruman shows his powerful army that consists of more than 10,000 Uruk-hai's army that are ready to battle, immediately sends off to attack Helm's Deep. Merry and Pippin together with Treebeard also realized that the war is starting. In the rivers of Rohan, Aragorn was washed up to riverside and was awakened by the horse Brego. Even showing weak and beat up, he was hopeful, then rides off the horse. He immediately rushed to Helm's Deep. In Rivendell, Elrond knows that the time of Elves is ending. He convinces Arwen that it's pointless to stay and tells her to go to the Grey Havens. Elrond shows her a vision of the future, where even if Aragorn succeeds in defeating Sauron and becomes the king of Gondor, he's still immortal. This means that once he dies, Arwen will suffer greatly and will be left alone. Though hesitant, she reluctantly agrees to leave. Back in Gondor, Frodo and Sam was brought to Faramir. Frodo was surprised to learn the ill-fated news that happened to Boromir. In Faramir's flashback, shows that Boromir has taken over the city of Osgiliath and gives patriotic speech. Also shows that Dentha ordered Boromir to go to Isengard and get the One Ring. Smeagol escaped being caught and, to save his life, Frodo not knowingly lured him, falling into a trap, which brought out his Gollum alter ego. Faramir found out about the One Ring and, wanting to prove himself to his father, decided to take the ring to Gondor. On his way to Helm's Deep, Aragorn spots Saruman's army of Uruk-hai, which numbers at least 10,000 strong. He was happy to arrive Helm's Deep. His folks are also happy to see him alive. Theoden prepares the keep for war. Aragorn asks the king to send riders to get some help, but Theoden is dismayed and thinks no one will help them. In Fangorn Forest, there is a gathering that is about to happen among Treebeard and the other Ents. They will decide what will their role in the war. Back to Helm's Deep, every man that can hold a sword is armed to defend, while the women and children are brought to the cave at the back of the fortress. Nightfall came, the army of Helm's Deep are ready to defend. At a time when all hope seemed lost, a group of skilled elven archers from Lérien, led by Halder, arrived to help in the upcoming battle. As the defenders anxiously stood on the walls, rain poured down and lightning illuminated the vast army of Saruman. In the midst of the downpour, an elderly man on the wall accidentally shot an arrow, striking down an Uruk. With that, the Battle of Helm's Deep erupted. With a flurry of arrows from both human and elven archers taking down numerous Uruk-hai, Scaling ladders were placed against the deeping wall, and the Uruk-hai surged upward to confront the defenders. Meanwhile, at the Entish Council, Merry and Pippin grew impatient with the slow pace of progress. At Helm's Deep, the defences were gradually being broken, and the enemy found a way to breach the wall through a sewer drain. This secret passage was revealed to Saruman by the deceitful worm tongue. To accomplish this, Saruman had devised an explosive device. The Uruk-hais managed to destroy the wall and the main gate, and soon the stronghold is overrun. Back to Fangon Forest, the Ents decided not to join the war. Merry begged, insist they should join the war, but the Ents still decide not to. Aragorn and the remaining army and Elves are forced to go back to the keep. Unfortunately, Holder falls in the battle. Pippin gets upset because the Ents won't help in the war, so he takes Treebeard to the south part of the forest that Saruman destroyed to make weapons. Treebeard gets really angry at Saruman's betrayal and commands all the Ents to seek revenge. They all gather together and start marching towards Isengard, in what's called the Last March of the Ents. At the ruins of Osgiliath, Faramir ordered to send the hobbits back to his father, to use the One Ring as a weapon to win the war, but Sam told him that Boromir died because he tried to take the ring and became mad. Aragorn and the rest on their last stand in the keep. He asked Theoden for one last ride to attack. They ride to the enemy and looks hopeless. Then Aragorn looked up to the east as Gandalf shows with Eomer and the Rohirrims. Gandalf and the 2,000 riders descend to attack the Uruk-hais. The sun rises over the hill, blinding the Uruk army. The Uruk-hais army are overwhelmed and defeated. The remaining runs, but falls to the Hold of Horns, primitive walking trees summoned to the region by Treebeard. In Isengard, the Ents attacked the Uruk-hais using stones and rocks. They destroyed the dam, flooding and destroying the tunnel and what is under it. Saruman can't do anything but only to watch in panic. In Osgiliath, Frodo seems to be under the magic of the One Ring. He was approached by the Ring Wraith and its fell beast. Sam grabbed Frodo away, and Faramir shot an arrow to the Ring Wraith, causing it to fall. Frodo feels that the One Ring is taking over him. Shows the people in Helm's Deep celebrate victory and chasing all the remaining Uruk-hais. Also shows victorious are the Ents and the fall of Isengard. Sam narrates that they need to complete the quest. Even in face of danger, he said that there are still good, and that is worth fighting for. Faramir heard it and decided to let them go. He guided them out of the city. As they continue their journey to Mordor, Gandalf and the others are aware that a great war in Middle-earth is about to begin. He said that their hope now lies to the two hobbits. Going along with Frodo and Sam once more, Gollum feels betrayed by how he was mistreated by Faramir's soldiers. As a result, his darker side resurfaces, and he decides to regain possession of the ring by guiding Frodo and Sam to what he called her.